Two questions for you. First of all, how does it feel? These will be easy.
Okay.
How does it feel to have coached in your first game and then also have won your first game?
Fantastic. It's hard to win a college football game. It feels great. It's awesome.
Have you ever seen a receiving performance like that in your life?
Not like that. Similar. I think we had one close to that with Brandon Cooks at Oregon State. But T-Mac's obviously special, man. He's just something else.
What stood out to you about his performance?
The yards after catch. You know, that was like those big explosives were just incredible. Outran the whole secondary on the big one down the sideline. He's awesome. He's an awesome competitor, and he's also not satisfied. He's like, we can play better. So it's what you hope for.
Defense seemed to settle in a bit more in the second half. What do you just attribute the overall performance?
I think the hardest thing to do during training camp is to play live football and to tackle live, because you're just concerned about losing a good player in that and not getting them to the game, and I think that part of it is a hard part of it. I thought they settled down really nicely in the second half, forced a couple turnovers. I thought in the first, the quarterback's a good player, right? He's super athletic, he's strong, he can throw it on the run, and so that's going to be a handful for anyone to contend with, And I thought they did good. I thought he did a good job. I thought New Mexico played well.
Justin and Brian, what were some of the things that you addressed to your team at halftime?
At halftime, I thought the biggest thing I talked to them was just stop worrying about the outcome, and worry about right now. Stop looking at the scoreboard. Just play football. It's like we had a game tonight. That's how it is. It's everyone can play. Right? Some teams are better than others. Some teams have better players than others, but everybody can play. Everybody lifts weights, and everybody's got good coaching, and so I thought they had a good plan. I thought they executed really well, and then I thought in the second half we made some good adjustments, and the guys rallied and came together and played for each other, and the result was good.
Well, Brian and then Jenna in the back.
What led to not running very much in the first half, and how much was there a concerted effort to try to have that balance in the second?
We don't really think of terms in terms of balance. Initially, we weren't getting a ton of pressure, and so that's when we were kind of able to make some of those throws where it was a little bit cleaner, and then we started getting heated up a little bit, and so that was when we were kind of saying, okay, how do we get the ball out of our hand? We ran a screen, some of that stuff, and so I think as we settled down, we came back at halftime. We were like, okay, we're trying to figure out what they were giving us in what situations so that we can get the run game going. So, and it was awesome. I was excited about how those guys ran the ball and how we blocked it up front.
Jenna and Jordan.
What did you learn about your team tonight?
That they're resilient, and that it means so much to them. You know what I mean? And I think the other thing I learned is that we need to eliminate the selfish penalties, right? Because that extended at least two drives, maybe three, and so we've got some learning to do, and I think that's good because this team wants to be good, and they've worked their butts off so far. So they'll be serious about getting that fixed.
Jordan and Troy in the front.
Hey, Brent, what would year 2000 Arizona grad assistant Brennan think about tonight?
Shoot, I think he'd think it's pretty cool. It was awesome. I thought our fans were great. The Zona Zoo was rocking. They stayed for almost the whole game. That was just great. I've said it ad nauseum, but I think that's we need the city of Tucson to rally for this team, so that we can counter the home field advantages that we're going to play when we get into the Big 12, and so we really, really, really need that. And so I think because you look at those games on TV, they're all selling out, and so we got to present that same front here in Arizona Stadium. So it's hard on our opponents.
Troy right here, then Jason in the corner.
Matthew Lotto had to come in after Rhino went down there. How did you think he played tonight, and just the snaps that he was able to get there?
That's hard to say. I got to look at the tape on that one. That's hard. I thought, we still moved the ball well when he was in there, and that was pretty cool. when I first got there, he was one of the young men that had just got here. He was one of the young men that had arrived like 5 days earlier, you know what I mean? So it's awesome to see, you know, his development and his process, and I think Big Josh is doing a great job coaching him.
And then with Big Jonah going over to left tackle, having a guy like that you can move around the offensive line, how much does that help in offense and you guys as a coaching staff?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, like Big Jonah has just an extremely high care factor. He's also really, really talented. And the flexibility that he has is going to help our football team tremendously this year, and it's also going to help him when he moves on to the next level.
Jason in the corner. Is there a way to utilize Rayshon Luke's talents a little bit more? It seems like he's explosive, but it's hard to get him the ball.
Yeah, I think it's hard because we're trying to distribute the ball a little bit, and those other backs are good players too. You know what I mean? And so it's that part of it, but I definitely think we can, and that's already been a discussion of just trying to find a way that we can be creative with what his skill set is. He's an awesome kid. He's an incredibly hard worker, and he is explosive with the ball in his hands.
Slot or is it kick returner or anything like that?
Well, he is our kickoff returner, I think. Oh, no, he's our backup kickoff returner, I think. So he's in the mix there a little bit, but I think also if you saw, JP looks like he might be a pretty good kick returner also. He had one that he brought out to the 40 and one that looked like it almost got out too. So, but we love Speedy Luke, and we're trying to find the best way to get the ball in the hands of all those playmakers, because we also have, I thought Quali ran the ball fantastic tonight, and we have Ja'Cory and we have Kedrick, so everybody wants the football.
Justin and Brian.
Wearing a lei, you also wore that at Big 12 Media Days. Is that like a signature look that you're going to be rolling out here moving forward?
This is a signature look when Noah Fafita's grandmother gives you one and Tetaroa McMillan's mother gives you the other. So,
Can't turn it down.
yeah, it was cool. It's an incredible gesture by them, and I, we're gonna lean into everybody's culture on the team. That's what makes us unique, makes us special.
Brian and then the gentleman in the back row here.
Yeah, with New Mexico not doubling T-Mac, it made sense to go with him as often as you did, but he had about half the targets. And how important is it that you make sure that there is that second and third option that is viable, so that if you do have someone that's going heavy on him?
Well, yeah, being an offensive guy my whole career, when you have one of those, eventually people are going to find ways to push coverage to him and make it hard, and so like those other guys need to step up. I thought Kean Burnett made a really nice play in the first half on a flag route. I think that tight end position could really help us there. And then I also think there's a lot there for Montana and the rest of that receiving core. Montana, Jeremiah, Malachi. I think there's a lot there. Chris Hunter made a nice catch on the sideline on a switch smash concept. So I think there's still a lot there. It's just if they're going to single him like that, the ball's going to find its way there.
Gentleman in the black polo in the back.
Coach, for your team to stay that resilient in the season opener after back and forth.
Say that again, sorry.
For your team to stay that resilient and fight back after back and forth first half, how great did that make you feel in that first game?
Oh, it's awesome. I think it's a good lesson for us. You know what I mean? It's like everybody can play, and I think like it's critical that going into every game you respect your opponent, and these guys played their tails off last week, and they did again this week. Like that coaching staff and those kids on that team, they got something going. Like they're 0-2, but they're gonna be fine. And so I was excited about how we rallied in the second half and how we finally played like good team football, right? Where we get a stop and then we'd score a touchdown, and then we'd kick it off and then we'd get a stop and force a punt. That's what we need to. The rhythm we're trying to find is where we're complementing each other as we play.
Last question to Jason.
I know you've kind of talked about it before, but the confidence in Tyler Luke to allow him to kick a 54-yard field goal, what does he bring to this team and your ability to kind of...
He's such a big-time player. Like, when you can put a guy out there and he can hit from 50 to 60, not to mention all the kickoffs, like, he touched them all back, and they were, like, more than touchbacks, right? Like, he's just such a confident, powerful kid. He's a great kid, and I'm really happy for him. He had a great night.
All right, that's our time.
All right, bear down.
Cool. Thank you.